Well, all my gamers out there, it is another Sunday, and it is December 24th. Yes, it is the Christmas Eve. It is the eve before Christmas. And Eve is also the name of my wonderful cat, who's another video game adaptation news weekly roundup. So this roundup is for the week December 18th to the 24th, and so we're going to get into that after the intro. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. And our first article comes from Microsoft, Xfire, and Illumination has plans for an Avenger-inspired Super Mario Bros. Movie, Super Mario Smash Bros. Movie. And this is something that I reported on a few months ago. I heard from somebody through a video game podcast who has connections and says that this is for sure happening. Illumination is looking to build on the success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie with a shared universe culminating in a Super Mario Bros. Smash movie. I already did a video about this back when I first heard about it, so there'll be a link to that up in the corner where I went through all of Nintendo's properties to see hypothetically how they would do that and what order it would be in, because Super Mario Bros. Movie was the first, and now they're working on a live action, but I don't think the live action Zelda is connected, and this will be a CG only version. With a box office gross north of 1.3 billion, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is one of the year's biggest and most successful movies. Given its success, many people have wondered whether Nintendo, despite its reticence to adapt its IPs, will sanction the development of a sequel and the adaptation of other IPs to build on the Super Mario Bros. Success at the box office. I say they definitely are, and they've definitely been planning this based on how well the movie would do, and I'm sure it probably exceeded their expectations. According to Hollywood insider Daniel Reckman, Illumination has plans for a shared universe of Nintendo IPs, ending in a crossover film, and intends to pitch Nintendo on its vision soon. So they know that Illumination plans for this, but they haven't pitched it to Nintendo, but there's an article about it. Don't know how that works. The universe will feature several spin-off movies based on different IPs, and culminate in a Smash film, a la Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Super Smash Bros. Movie video game is a Nintendo title that features characters from across several Nintendo games, as well as a few franchises that belong to other studios. The series has 5 titles, with the first arriving in 1999. That title featured 12 playable characters, which has since risen to 89 with the latest installment. So if you want to read more about that, you can join his Patreon, which I'm not going to do. So his report has sparked excitement among fans, especially among people who grew up playing Super Mario games and other Nintendo titles. Unfortunately, despite his reputation for authentic industry leaks, Rickman isn't always correct. Because of this, his scoop on Illumination's plans for the Super Mario franchise is best taken with a pinch of salt. At least that's until the confirmation happens, which Super Mario Bros. Movie's success lead to a renewed interest in the Super Mario IP. For instance, it led plans to re-release the first ever Mario film, which was terrible, so it's weird they would do that, but they did. It also inspired a change in visual style for Nintendo's latest Super Mario game, which I didn't know it did that, till Super Mario Wonder, which came out a few months ago, and contributed to its success as the fastest selling Super Mario title ever. Didn't know that, so that's interesting that the most recent one, fastest selling out of all the Marios. With this track record, Illumination is uniquely positioned, at least better than any other studio, to expand on a cinematic horizon. Well, why would anyone else do it? If you want the proper continuity, you'd need Illumination to do it from now on. Besides, the studio has done it once before with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and it can rely on that experience in convincing Nintendo. Well, duh. Time will tell. Alright, so in the opposite news of IPs, movies getting turned into video game adaptations, Chris Pratt's Garfield movie is getting a video game adaptation. Garfield is amongst a long list of upcoming films set to get adaptations. This is coming from Games Hub. For some reason, Chris Pratt has become everyone's go-to voice person, which, he just did Mario. It was hardly any different from his voice. I've only heard a little bit of his voice for this, but it sounds the same again, so I don't know what that's about. They're like, hey, let's everyone just, instead of having someone that sounds like Chris Pratt, let's just get Chris Pratt. The Garfield movie, starring Chris Pratt as the titular Garfield, is set to get a video game per news from Deadline. plan has been formulated by a Sino-American fund known as Stars Hana, which is comprised of 3 companies in partnership: Stars Collective, Hana Investment, and Starlight Media. The goal is apparently to invest in multiple entertainment verticals over the next 3 years, with this including ambitions in film, TV, comics, games, collectibles, consumers, AI, and new tech markets. This initiative marks a significant role in blending the worlds of cinema and gaming, promising a diverse array of entertainment options for audiences worldwide. Peter Liu, Starlight Media CEO and founder of Stars Collective. Like revealed today, Stars Hana has partnered with Chinese company Tencent, who own a lot of IPs. They own almost half. They own 25% of all video game IPs almost. They own so many things. As well as the Tencent-owned Dream Sky Technology, HYJZ, and Forever Mind to develop video game, Garfield movie, Every House is Haunted, The Burden, Hunting Season, The Call of Cthulhu, Mass Extinction GMO, The Gox Father. What the hell is that? Memory Lost in Space. So there's 2 Sam Raimi movies and 2 James Wan movies. 3. So what's that? I don't know what that's about. Which should present unique opportunity to explore more of Lovecraft's nightmare visions. We'll have to wait to see what Stars Hana has in store. In recent years, the lasagna-loving cat has received a number of video games, including a party game and several racing games, but with these largely underwhelming, the upcoming adaptation has plenty of room to move. Over here on GamingBible.com, this isn't any announcement, but just fan wishes, I don't know, this is just what some fans want, so I don't know how else to word that because I'm stupid right now. But God of War fans agree the live-action series already has the perfect Kratos. We'll see in the article, I haven't even looked ahead. It is the era of game-to-television adaptations, and one game that will be making its way is a live-action God of War. As you can probably guess, this has led fans to debating who will be taking on the main roles. Luckily, we may already have our Kratos. The God of War TV adaptation is reportedly making a way onto Amazon. I thought it was Netflix. I don't know, maybe not. I think there's an animated something, but that might be Gears of War, I'm not sure. Alongside Sony passion projects such as Horizon Zero Dawn. Although they have yet to receive any more information since they were revealed, it hasn't stopped fans from getting excited to see the Spartan warrior himself in the live action. Since God of War has first released in 2005, Kratos has gone on to become one of the most recognized video game characters of all time. The Spartan warrior was originally played by Terrence C. Carson from 2005 to 2013, before the role was then handed over to Christopher Judge, who reprises the role to this day. Since stepping into Kratos' very large shoes, Judge has gone on to voice and the mocap model for both God of War and God of War Ragnarok. There's no doubt that Judge loves playing Kratos, and so much so that he has revealed he would love to reprise his role as him in the live-action adaptation. The news comes after Judge retweeted a fan who has said the actor himself should take on the role, as opposed to hiring a WWE to fit Kratos' giant structure. Why is everyone saying that Triple H or Braun Strowman are 2 of the perfect choices for Kratos in a live-action project when I Am Chris Judge is literally the fucking God of War? They wrote, in which Judge replied, "Cosign." It's interesting that the link is still twitter.com, and people still say X, also known as Twitter, because no one wants to call it X. It's stupid. Live-action adaptations are becoming more and more popular in recent years, with the recent trailer for the fall TV show bursting onto the internet. It was also not long before HBO's Last of Us was renewed for a second season after the first was met with critical success earlier this year. It feels so long ago. It's the end of the year, and beginning of this year was when it first came out, and it was exciting to just see how well it was going to do, because I knew it was going to do well, as I say in every video I do. In different type of game news, although Warhammer 40,000 has tabletop games, but it also has video games, so the IP itself has both. But Henry Cavill's passion project moves forward in an exciting Warhammer update. Yeah, Cavill is passionate about Warhammer, but I believe he's more about the tabletop version, not the game version, because Cavill is admittedly a gigantic nerd, but that's cool. I like him for that. I definitely like Cavill a lot more since his performance as Geralt in The Witcher. That performance actually completely changed my opinion of him. Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40,000 adaptation gets a positive update. Warhammer 40,000 is a miniature wargame where characters in a dystopian future are set to fight against each other. Also has expanded into video games and other media. Right, last year it was announced that Amazon will be making a television adaptation of the Warhammer series starring Cavill. Now, Games Workshop confirms the continued development of a Warhammer adaptation. According to the statement, Games Workshop and Amazon Studios have signed the full agreement. The details of said agreement have been kept under wraps as of now, and it is even unclear whether they will kick off with a movie or TV show. Game Workshop also confirmed the involvement of Cavill, who will be an executive producer on the project as well. The full statement is below. Back in December last year, we announced Games Workshop and Amazon Studios had signed an agreement in principle to work together to bring the Warhammer 40,000 universe to screens big and small. Today we have an update, and it's one we've all been longing to hear. We've now signed the full agreement and the next stage can begin. Now comes the fun part, working out all the creative details with our partners and getting the first script written and into production. Warhammer 40,000 stories should we tell first? Should we kick off with a movie or a TV show? Both? I guess he's asking this on maybe Twitter or something else. All we can tell you right now is that an elite band of screenwriters, each with their own particular passion for Warhammer, is being assembled to bring the setting and characters you love to the screen. This illustrious group will be championed by Henry Cavill, who stands ready to take his place as executive producer, bringing his pen, sword, and or spear to the project. TV and film production is a mammoth undertaking. It's not unusual for projects to take 2 or 3 years from this point before something arrives on screen. Still, things are now properly rolling, and you can bet we'll bring you all the latest updates and cool snippets as soon as we're able. Sorry, I don't know why I do that. Cavill's deep involvement in the Warhammer project as producer, writer, and star is already a great sign for the project. The actor has long been a fan of Warhammer and has even suggested story ideas for a film or TV adaptation in the past. Cavill's passion for this project will be an asset to the production, as he will invigorate the team as a deeply involved member. There are still several questions surrounding Cavill's Warhammer 40,000 adaptation. First, there is no suggested release window. Well, I don't know, they basically just signed the papers, so it's probably too early for that. Something the statement acknowledges when in its recognition that the process could take 2 or 3 years. Secondly, a decision about whether the adaptation will be a TV show or a film will change the production process. And they update cast uncertainty about that. Warhammer 40,000 also does not yet have a cast and is in the early stages of getting a script together. Well, I'm assuming Cavill's in it. I don't know, it doesn't say he's in it, but I'm sure he's in it. Warhammer 40,000 also does not yet have a cast and is in the early stages of getting a script together. Even with all these factors still uncertain, the fact that the Warhammer adaptation will continue and with Cavill in a key creative role is a positive update. Alright, P-Pals, that's it for all the news that I could find from the past week for the week of December 18th to 24th. So yeah, it was Christmas Eve. So I hope y'all have a good Christmas and a good Christmas Eve. But also, don't forget, like and subscribe. And also don't forget to keep gaming. 2024 is going to be another good year. I can't wait.